Welcome to I Am the King tutorial. Today we will talk about how to bring new life through the mating process. In this game, all players will have a chance to experience a simulated version of birth, age, and death. The character pile that you all familiar with is a symbol of spirit lining up for rebirth. During game setup, all players have created a squat with their first man or woman, with a commoner to mate and flourish the land. A squat is a group of characters and commoners in your land, who you had assigned them to work together on one task. During the housekeeping phase, players get the result from the previous round's action. Each player will take turn to present their mating squats, and get newborns by rolling the dice. If this is the very first turn, we will start the presentation with the king, then followed by other players. Otherwise, the order will be based on the sequence the king assigned to the players from previous turn. Sometimes a mating squat may have more than 2 people. Although only 2 people can be mating at any given time, you can add more people to the squat for security purpose. That is a common practice in wartime. In case the other player starts an attack, you can respond quickly by sending a squat to defend. Presenting your mating squat. If you have more than 2 people in the mating squat, pick the 2 cards that are mating. Within your land, a character can mate with another character, or a commoner. Now roll the dice to determine how many children you may get. If you roll a 1, you get no newborn. 2, you get 1 newborn. 3, you get 2 newborn. 4, you get 3 newborn. 5, you get 4 newborn. 6, you get 5 newborn. Let's say I roll a 4, I will take 3 cards from the character pile. Place the cards beside the character pile from left to right, in their original facing position. Now, reveal the first character card. If the card has a character name, it indicates the birth of this character comes with an event. Next, you need to check whether the event is compatible. For example, Mr. Prince is mating with Miss Commoner. Mr. Prince's virtue is 2 and Ms. Commoner's virtue is 1. If the newborn is an event card with virtue from 1 to 2, the event is compatible. Let's say the newborn is an event card with virtue more than 2, which is higher than both of the parents, then event is incompatible. Another example, let's say Mr. Prince is mating with Miss Hololook. Mr. Prince's virtue is 2 and Miss Hololook's virtue is 6. Since Mr. Donkey's virtue is 1, if there is an event, the event is not compatible, because it is lower than both of the parents. In comparison, Mr. Llama's virtue is 6. The event will be compatible as his virtue is within the parents' range of 2 to 6. If the event is incompatible, please turn the card facing down and slide it back into the character pile anywhere you like. As a replacement, take another card from the top of the character pile, put it face down on the right-hand side. And then you repeat the same process with the next card, until all new cards on your hand are revealed. Let's say if the event is compatible, now you have to make a choice to keep it or deny it. Some events are auspicious where one has no reason to decline it, but some events are so bad that you will do anything to deny your fate. To accept the card, take that card, and insert your house clip vertically at its upper left corner. You have successfully obtained a newborn. Read the event out loud and follow the instruction accordingly. Then you repeat the same process with the next card or done when there is no more card to reveal. Let's say if you want to decline an event. First, you have to take 1 blood token as a mark of your deed. Blood token will be explained in the advance rule book. You keep the event card face up and slide it back into the character pile anywhere you like. You also lose your right for the other newborns that are coming. Return those cards back to the top of character pile in its original order, and this mating squat is done for now. After a card with event is declined and returned to the character pile, when a player draws it again in the future, he will have to accept the card regardless it is compatible or not. Planning disaster to your enemy is one effective strategy to weaken your opponent. Let's talk about what will happen when a character mates with another character with the same family name. In this scenario, there is a risk of bad birth. Let's say Mr. Prince is mating his twin sister Miss Princess. Upon revealing the new card, if it is not an event card, and the virtue is an even number, such as 2, 4, or 6, that's bad news. You will still be able to keep the card, but not allowed to insert the house clip onto the newborn. It means this child will be born as a commoner, whose attributes are ones. Take the card, and keep it face down like the other commoners in your land. As the trauma of the bad birth, both of the parents will suffer from premature aging. Insert another mating action clip to mark the aging. In contrast, if the new card is not an event card, and the virtue is an odd number, then he will be born as a normal character. What if the new card is an event card? If the child's virtue is compatible with his parents, and you decide to accept the event card, then he will be born as a normal character as well. To summarize, a player can keep a newborn if it is not an event card. It is an event card where the newborn's virtue is compatible to his parents. It is a faced-up event card, previously declined by other player. When a character mates with another character within same family. If the new card is not an event card, and the virtue is an even number, then this child will be born as a commoner. Insert another mating action clip to the parents to indicate aging. If it is not an event card, and the virtue is an odd number, then this child will be born as a normal character. If it is an event card, and the child's virtue is compatible with his parents, after you accept the event card, he will be born as a normal character. The process goes on using the same rule for all the remaining newborns. After you take all your newborns and mark them with your family name clip, they will join their parents' squad. You also need to adjust their attributes according to their parents' attributes. Remember, a child cannot have an attribute higher than nor lower than both of his parents. Let's illustrate by example again. Mr. Prince is mating with Miss Commoner. Miss Commoner has all her attribute at 1 and Mr. Prince has charisma of 4, strength of 3, attentiveness of 1, and virtue of 2 respectively. Let's say Mr. Cat is their newborn. Mr. Cat has no attribute higher than, nor lower than both of his parents. Thus no adjustment is needed. On the other hand, let's say Mr. Kangaroo is their newborn. Mr. Kangaroo has a strength of 4 and an attentiveness of 2, which are higher than both of his parents. In that case, you need to adjust his attribute down to match his parent, whoever has the higher value. Use the erasable marker provided to cross out the old attributes and write down the new values. In this case, since Mr. Prince's strength is 3, and Miss Commoner's strength is 1, the new strength for Mr. Kangaroo should be 3. Mr. Prince's attentiveness is 1, and Miss Commoner's attentiveness is also 1, so the new strength for Mr. Kangaroo should be 1. Another example. Mr. Prince mates with Miss Hula-Look. Let's say they have Mr. Kangaroo. Mr. Kangaroo's charisma is 4, which is compatible to his parents. Strength is 4, which is too high. Thus need to lower it to match with his parents, which is 3. Attentiveness is 2, which is compatible, as it is not higher nor lower than both parent. Virtue is 1, which is too low. You will need to raise it to the same level as the parent who has the lower virtue. In this case, it is Mr. Prince, whose virtue is 2. What if they have Mr. Cat? Mr. Cat's charisma is 3, which is too low, will raise to 4 like Daddy. Strength of 2 is too low, will raise to 3. Attentiveness is 2, which is compatible, it is not higher nor lower than both parents. Virtue of 1 is too low, you will need to raise it to the same level as the parent who has the lower virtue. In this case, it is Mr. Prince, whose virtue is 2. To summarize, if the child's attribute is lower than both of his parents, raise his attribute to match his parent, whoever has the lower value. If the child's attribute is higher than both of his parents, reduce his attribute to match his parent, whoever has the higher value. That's pretty much it for the mating tutorial. Oh, a few more things. Adoption. Don't be discouraged if you roll a 1 and have no newborn. Adoption is available. Discard 2 bread tokens. In exchange, you can take the top card from the character pile as your child. One catch though, if these character comes with an event, regardless of compatibility, you will have to accept it. Also, adopted child are not restricted nor protected by compatibility. You may get a character who is stronger and smarter than his parents, or vice versa. And at last, if the character pile is running out, reshuffle the discard pile until everybody is happy. Reveal the first 20 cards from the new character pile, just like the initial setup. Each player will get 1 new bonus character, following the order assigned during the previous action phase, then insert their family clip. For the remaining cards, if it is a non-event card, return it to the discard pile. If it is an event card, return it to the character pile, and reshuffle one more time until everybody is happy. Then continue the game with the next player. This is the end of the mating tutorial. Thank you for watching.